Johnston podcast sessions. Enjoy. Try to remember, but my feelings can't know for sure. Try to reach out, but it's gone. Lucky stars in your eyes. I am walking the cow. I really don't know how I came here. I really don't know why I'm staying here. Oh, 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 oh. I am walking the cow. Try to point my finger, but the wind keeps blowing me around in circles, circles. Lucky stars in your eyes. I am walking the cow. I really don't know what I have to feel. I really don't know why I have to care. Oh, 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 oh. I'm walking the cow. Lucky stars in your eyes.
All right. Welcome back to the second episode of the Wes Henderson podcast. I'm Jude.
Mark here.
Chris here.
And we just saw Chris playing Walking the Cow. So that was an awesome rendition. of that
Oh,
song.
thank you.
Yeah.
Seemed like a long time ago.
Exactly. It's been a while.
Been a minute.
Earlier we were talking about like how, like everyone has done amazing covers of that song
Yes.
but honestly, like I remember seeing something on YouTube. It was like Eddie Vedder, didn't they? Or who did
Eddie
it?
Vedder. Eddie Vedder was opening his shows apparently with that
Yeah.
song. And I know he did it on Austin City Limits at one point.
Yeah, I've seen a performance and yeah,
I don't know.
I like the guy, but
But-
like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
Chris's
Yeah.
version was awesome.
Exactly,
I really
yeah.
enjoyed that version.
yeah. Eddie Vedder has his thing to it, but
Yeah.
Eddie
At
Vedder
the-
always has that Pearl Jam-ish type of thing.
Yeah.
That he
Yeah, he definitely made an impact in Seattle scene and a lot of in the early 80s, mostly in Austin and stuff like that. And he's been covered by endless people. He's like the Bob Dylan of our time, different versions and all that stuff, So
yeah.
yeah, he's great.
But I have to give you kudos because I honestly, like, we were talking about that, like, we just, like, your version is just, like,
Thank you.
we like it.
I really liked it. In fact, it made that become one of my favorite Daniel Johnston songs.
It's a great song. It's like you could tell it's like completely from the heart, and he's it's probably one of his most recognizable song. There's been some other ones that been in commercials. This one, Speedy race car driver or something like that. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from that period, that was from 1983. That was already his third album, I believe. No, it was his fourth album.
Yes.
When that came off, and well, cassettes back in the day, you know. So
Heck yeah.
he'd been out and been doing it for a while before that came out.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's one thing, like, what that I've noticed, and I don't know, like, maybe you guys can maybe set me straight or whatever, but that's one thing I've noticed about Daniel Johnston is that he's Brian Wilson-esque in a sense, like, not like that, but just, like, trying to get the feelings, I guess, into songs, because, you know, Daniel Johnston, you know, he has, you know, his mental health issues, or, you know, whatever you want to call them, and you could tell that he's trying to, like, find his way, his voice through his songs, but
Yes.
he's got
Yeah.
that pop, like me, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, not like top 40, but he's got that pop thing where he just wants to, you know, also write a good pop song. And
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, like, that's what I get, like,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of the stuff I hear, you know, it's just like raw, but you could tell, like, if he was, you know, doing it for real in a band, like in a multi-million-dollar studio, it would just be like this, like, polished pop, not polished and pop in a bad way, but just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
in those
like,
terms,
that's
yeah.
that's just the sense I get, but like I
yeah.
said, he's got that Brian Wilson-esque thing where, like, those are his feelings in a sense. I don't know, like,
Yeah,
I agree because like he you know, he had a hard life, and just like with Brian Wilson, he probably could have been dead many years ago, you know, like he could have ended his life or who knows what, you know, and he had a second life just like Brian Wilson, you know, after he got rid of Landy.
Yeah.
Same with Daniel Johnston, you know, once he got back in the care of his folks, you know,
Yeah.
he got a second life, and he's still going, like, you know, he's still touring like Brian Wilson, you know, very lot older now and stuff like that, but it's good. I mean, you know, hopefully he'll be around and keep recording music, because he still makes music and art, mostly art nowadays, but, you know.
yeah,
His art's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
yeah.
really
I always
strange.
forget about, you know, him doing his own art for his albums for
Oh, yeah.
a
You
long
haven't,
time.
you haven't checked it out, obviously. Just Google
Yes, and-
Daniel Johnston.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I have to
bunch.
bring up Jeff Turnikoff, his former manager. He strictly has got most of his art and stuff like that, so you can check it out. I forgot what it's on Facebook or any place you can look at his art, and he's got some great collection of his art and
Nice.
a lot of good stuff.
It's awesome.
yeah.
So another thing that this week we're going to be reviewing our beer of the week. In our last episode, we said that. Oops, I don't want to cross here.
Oh, yeah.
Pick it up. We're going to try this Rogue from Rogue Brewery. It's the Shakespeare Oatmeal Stout. Never actually tried it. I've tried other beers from Rogue Brewery. Gosh, I forgot one of the beers that I've tried from them. There's a few that
Yeah. Isn't there what is this? There's just like a red, or what is it? I know that
There's
one's,
a red, yeah.
or some. I know the oatmeal stout's like one of the popular ones, but they do
Yeah.
like a red or maybe I don't know, a brown.
Yeah, some.
Try
Well,
to find
Give
that
us a
if
whirl.
you
They do
could.
quite a
but,
few. So
let's get this
So,
open
yeah.
and pour
there you
some.
go, dude.
Get a sample going
Pop it
here.
on open. So obviously we drank a little bit before, so
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna try this one out though.
Yeah.
It's oatmeal stout, so it's
Ooh.
very heavy. But
Let me clear up this glass a little bit.
thank you.
Man, I'm already liking that already. I've been.
We had another beer in which we'll maybe talk about in a future segment. It was from it's from the Belgium, New Belgium.
Oh yeah, New Belgium is a
Yeah.
ale.
It's an ale,
Very light, crisp, tastes like a pilsner.
summer ale.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, so we'll try that on a future episode. But yeah, let's give this a try. See what we think.
All right.
I'm a fan of pale ales, but it's that time of year, and I just I've been known to you know, my darker beers, so I just can't wait to
Yep,
get
let's
into
see.
this. So yeah.
Oh,
Oh, nice. That's good.
Mhm. Yep.
nice and crisp.
That's
Crisp,
good.
dry, good.
Yeah, dry and just like
It's got a
Oh,
roasty
that's
note to it, I think.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
it does.
But it's balanced, though. It doesn't
doesn't overwhelm you.
Yeah, it grabs you at the front, but it's got just that
It's very tasty.
like a
Yeah,
caramely
absolutely.
finish to it too. I think
Yeah, exactly.
this is good.
I like it.
By the way, this is close to Halloween now.
Yep.
Mark's got his
Yeah.
Haddonfield sweater
I had
on
to
here.
sport this. I've been trying to go all over town and see if people take double takes on it. But
Yes.
I just got
And,
it, and
Got little
So awesome.
Michael here
Michael
representing.
representing.
little Mikey Myers.
We were talking about the new movie that's being in production now.
Yeah,
hopefully,
that.
it's produced by John Carpenter, right? Or
Yeah,
co-produced or
he's
something like
He's,
that.
he's signed on as executive producer, so
Yeah.
Pretty
he's
awesome.
he's actually at the head of the helm. But we were talking earlier. I don't know who the director
Jamie Lee
or
Curtis is
writers
actually
are.
coming back on it.
Yeah.
From all indications.
Oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure everyone's aware of that nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
She's coming back. She in what was it? Not H2O. What was the other one after that?
Resurrection.
Resurrection. Where she wanted to. I think it was her idea to kill off the character. During that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice that she's coming back. Supposedly it's skipping all that. It's skipping Resurrection, skipping H2O,
Right.
skipping them all according to what you.
Yeah,
found
it's like a reimagining, or what do they call those? Not a reboot
out. Not a
in a
reboot.
sense, but a reimagining or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Something.
the Star Trek, how it takes like an alternative
Right.
reality or something that doesn't necessarily follow the original
Yeah.
series or whatever. That's what this I've heard is going to take. So
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that'll be pretty cool.
who is what's the name of the original
forward to it.
producer? Mustafa Akkad?
Mustafa
or-
Akkad,
is
yeah.
that-
He's probably still affiliated with this.
Yeah.
I mean, he bought the rights to it, so.
yeah.
It's actually he died, so it's I think Malik Akkad.
Yeah,
Now
his
his son
or something.
that took over the
And he's
the franchise.
he's obviously going to be involved as well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
suspect, but
Definitely.
I'd seen an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis when she signed on for H2O. Like, she wanted to do it, and this is what it is, and she's like, we can have closure. And then she just realized, even though like a lot of the fans have already noticed, but she noticed that this is such a special project for Mustafa at the time that he was never going to kill off Michael Myers,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they found a way to bring him back, and then they found a way to
Keep
bring him
bringing
back.
him
So
back. Yeah, exactly. Because at H2O, I really did enjoy the ending.
right, that should have been the
Spoilers,
ending.
but if you haven't seen H2O by now, forget it.
Yeah.
But I really like the end where she said goodbye to him. It was actually kind of a little bit emotional
Yeah.
when
And-
they did it, and
And
was a good
ended
ending.
right. Yeah, ended right. Like
it
where
ended right.
to
All
really
the-
kill him, and
Yeah.
there's no way of
exactly.
coming
To
back.
really
Yeah.
kill him, he was reaching out for his sister. Just
Right,
like understanding that it was the end for him, and
that one speck of humanity
That
that,
one
that you
tiny
could
speck,
think that Michael Myers would have.
And weird thing is 20 years for that. When that 78 to next year it'll be the 20 years for H2O, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, already. Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, 98, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking differently, like going off to another one, if you've noticed, I don't know if you guys seen the one in
No, I
theaters.
still haven't
did.
seen it.
Yes.
It's a good. I liked
It's
it,
good.
but
Yeah, I liked
Spoilers.
it. Oh no.
I kind of, not really spoilers, but I kind of heard it's more like coming of age type. It wasn't really too.
it's
It's a portion of the book. I think it's not.
Yeah.
There's
It's-
going to be a
it's-
part 2 with the adults.
right.
Yeah, because they didn't show any of the adults.
Yeah, I was like kind of
Just-
waiting because I had no idea what to expect, and I kept waiting for like, are they switching or? I
Yeah.
don't want to spoil it for you guys, but like if you've noticed, though, it's not a thing that they've shot this. What is it, 27 years? Because I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
it comes every 27
27
years
years.
in
Yeah,
the book,
exactly.
and this
That's why they did
and
it.
this remake came 27 years after the made for TV. Rest in peace, John Ritter and
Yeah.
Yeah.
good
all
old
those
John.
folks that were involved with that.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, we went off on a movie tangent. Hey, it's
Right.
That's
That's okay, because I'm
It's
going to
amazing.
nurse this beer because I love this beer. It's,
Yeah, that's great.
It's actually a very, very good beer. You could feel it pretty heavy
Can you
after
top
2
Jude off there?
oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, another, obviously we talk about technology and, speaking of going back around and speaking about, music, recently, well, it was recently when we were supposed to release this episode, but, I purchased a it's called a reflection filter for our recording, because currently we're in the studio, our band is, and we're hopefully get out an EP here soon. We'll get in there and we'll finish it off. You don't have to worry. We've got a lot of backers. Thank you, by the way. We appreciate it. Don't worry. You're getting your full payout of our EP here really soon. So. But we got I got a reflection filter, and if you don't know what they are, they kind of go around like this, and they have like it's kind of like has sound deflection material. And I did get it. Gosh, it's almost been a year, but I barely got to open it and test it and mess around with it. So we have a video of the unboxing of it. And just before we go to it, I don't really know if... I guess you have to have the right environment in order to use it correct. I mean, not correctly, but in order to use it to its fullest.
Yeah. Right.
It has a lot... It does a lot when you're talking directly at a mic like this, but it does nothing behind you or anything like that, which is... I don't know. You see a lot now on videos with artists that are singing in the studio or whatever.
When I was like looking at it, and I was like, I'm like, I just started wondering like now, because me, I'm slow, but I just wonder like how that would be like if you're in a room, total wood floors, just hard, nothing soft in that room, no rugs, no. How would that thing react, you would think? Because like, say, a live room, you talk and it echoes and it reverberates. How do you think that would work in there?
I really don't know. I mean, I don't A lot of people are getting it because you think you could get like isolation,
right?
Like
exactly.
If you were in an isolation booth, and I don't see that happening with
it.
We're gonna have to test it out in the environment while we're doing it to record vocals.
Exactly.
And maybe in a couple of episodes we'll come back and let you guys know how it works out.
Right.
And how, if we like it, or if it's just a big old nice little pretty piece of hardware that just makes it look cool.
We can try to give an example on this floor here.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
there you go.
So, yeah.
I did do a quick one after I unboxed it. It's on a different video. I'm not going to use it, I don't think, because it really wasn't very. It was just quickly shot. I didn't care for it. So, but yeah, I got an unboxing of it, so you kind of know what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, shall we?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and after we take a look at that, before we go to it, we also have Chris. Chris is going to be talking about Dulce. So we're going to be he's going to be letting us know a little bit about that, and letting us know what's going on up there in northern New Mexico.
Nice, because I think that's the real topic of today's podcast. We're just kind of throwing a little tidbits of everything else, but
there you go.
I can't wait to get into the some Dulce topics.
Yes.
Northern New Mexican caverns and
patchy
tunnels.
Land. Yep.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the reflection filter, and then we'll be right back with you. All right. Hey, everyone. This is Jude here again. Time for another unboxing. This is the RFX Reflection Filter X from SC Electronics. Just got this. For those who don't know, what this basically does is it allows you to isolate a microphone whenever you're recording vocals, whether it be just speech or music or singing and stuff like that. That's what this does. It allows you to record in a non-isolated room, such as your bedroom, your bathroom, wherever the hell you want to record vocals for your recording. And it isolates those like you are basically in an isolation booth. It doesn't allow the vocals to reflect off of surfaces that are in front of the microphone, basically. So I got this because me and my band members kind of need it to record. So, I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it. So, there's a couple pieces of tape on this guy. So we gotta take that tape off. So we're gonna flip it back. All right. Let's take it off. This is the first time I even opened this. So sometimes you get unboxings where they've already previously opened it. This isn't that. Alright, there it is. Alright, there it is. Kind of reflecting. Hey, so, wow. That's a beast right there. Let's take it out, check it out. Ooh. Nice matte black, huh? Awesome. Look at that. Total isolation. Well, not quite total isolation, but that's all good. So there's the main piece. Still got another box up in here. Let's go and get this guy open. Okay, and we got some stuff in here. Okay, so we got your mic stand connectors. Or actually, no, these go on the outside of the thing. I think they actually hold the frame on there so that it doesn't fall. So we got those. Got your silica gel. Definitely keep this unless you have an iPhone 7, which is waterproof. Well, not waterproof, water resistant. IP67. So take this apart, and here's your frame. All right. So, this goes on the actual stand. So we're able to actually get it connected to our microphone stand. Or like that, I mean. And then this part, you put on your microphone stand. Obviously, this part allows you, I'm guessing, to move it in and out. So you could get a different range. You could get it up close to your mic, or you could move it further out. So that's basically what that does. So that's all that comes with it. So that's the unboxing of the SE RFX Reflexion Filter. All right. We'll see you guys next time. All right, we are back.
We're back.
So, yeah, so that's what a reflection filter is all about.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't wait to like test it out. Like, like I said, I just kind of wonder, with the condenser mics, in a live echoey room, like how that may play or may not even play into it, or even like in a bedroom where it's like, you got like curtains, carpet, and the whole 9 yards, and how that may or may not play into it. So that'll be kind of a pretty neat experiment.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see exactly what happens there. What we're going to talk about next is a little bit of northern New Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
An ancient part.
Taos Hum.
Taos Hum.
Taos Hum. I watched an Unsolved Mysteries about the Taos Hum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And supposedly
they have Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix now.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Amazon Prime.
Prime?
Not to be
Is it?
promoting Amazon Prime, but
are you kidding me?
Amazon Prime. Oh, speaking of, hold on, guys. Okay. So, speaking of Unsolved Mysteries, what I was watching, because I'm a nerd and I've been trying to watch like episode by episode, season by season. So seriously, like, and I know you have, but have anyone out there seen the first Jeepers Creepers?
Yes.
Like the very first one, the
Jeepers
one,
Creeper?
with the brother and
what's his
sister.
name?
Yeah.
With the Apple guy, Justin Long.
Yeah.
Or Justin Long, right?
Is it Justin Long?
Yeah. The guy
sounds
that
right.
Apple Mac commercials, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
From
Monica loves
from
that
Waiting.
movie. It's her favorite.
The guy from Waiting, same guy from Waiting. Yeah,
same guy from Waiting.
So basically, like, it's an old movie. So basically, brother and sister are driving on a road, and then the they see that truck behind them, and then they're like, what the, and it passes them, and then they see it zoom by, and then they're driving along, and then they see it, miles down, and it's like at a church or something, and it seems to be dropping down what looks like possibly a human body or something wrapped up, but with blood, a white sheet. And then like it turns, sees them, and then it starts chasing them again. Well, this is the crazy part is I was watching Unsolved Mysteries, and that's totally based off a true incident that was on Unsolved Mysteries. Like really, like there was like the real story was like, or at least for that, was a couple on the same thing, and I think it was a husband and wife, but it takes place on Easter. They're just taking a nice Sunday Easter drive, and just like in the movie, they were like, they saw a license plate and they just kind of like made a word out of it or whatever.
Wow.
And but this one, it was a van, and then they saw like a guy just like, driving really crazy, and he zoomed by, and they're like, what the hell, what's going on? And, they only saw like bloody linen, like a towel or something. And they went back and were like, what's going on? And when they went back to it was a schoolyard, and they found like the bloody, blanket or something, and like, what the heck? And like, when they drove back, they saw the van again, but he had pulled over off to the side, and it looked like he was changing license plates on his van. Down. And the wife said that like when the door was open, she just see blood all over on the passenger side. But I was like, whoa, that is totally...
That's crazy.
That is basically like the first 20 minutes of Jeepers Creeper. Like,
there you go.
Kidding. Like,
that's actually a good movie. I like Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
It's a pretty entertaining movie. Have you seen it, Chris?
I can't remember if I have or not.
It's pretty good. You got to
rewatch it.
Yeah, it's like, and obviously, like, Jeepers, if the writers, whoever took from that episode, obviously they made it into a horror supernatural, but if we can get like somehow edit in, like, I swear I'll put the episode and the season and the episode, like, and you guys just got to see it. It's like trippy, like,
heck yeah.
You remember, so like if you see it, like, you'll trip out too, and like you need to see, if you kind of remember, like, see Jeepers Creeper, and then I'll show you the Unsolved Mysteries, and you guys will trip out. I was like, whoa, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right.
I just had to go off on that because I was like,
it's all good because hey, it's Unsolved Mysteries, right?
Definitely.
So anyways, speaking of tell some Unsolved Mysteries, coming back around to Dulce.
Dulce.
So Chris, let us know all about it, and let us know what's going on with it.
Well, I haven't not been keeping up recently what's going on in Dulce, but Dulce is up north, mid-north, New Mexico, past Los Alamos, and I forgot exactly how far it is from the border, but it's a pretty remote mountain area. It's on Apache land, small little town, and there's a lot of strange stuff that's been going on there since the early 70s reported. The cattle mutilations that have been going on since the 70s, they're predominantly there. And
you think, is that kind of like not necessarily connected, but is it like as a result, or just some kind of connection to Dulce, those cattle mutilations? Because those were like a big thing. Like, some of the younger viewers that are watching this, back when I was a kid, like, that was like, whoa, like, that was a scary thing, like, because these were like precision, like cuts, or mutilations is basically exactly what they were, but is that
perfect incisions. A lot of the male cows, the testicles were removed, the female uteruses, like, I don't know, something else that was removed,
reproductive organs,
everything, and that started a lot of it. And then there's been a lot of sightings, UFO sightings up there, experiments like half cow, half humans been seen running through town, and which leads to a lot of stuff. There's a very infamous story from 1979. A geologist engineer named Phil Schneider. He had been working at Dulce, adding on some additional structures for the underground base that apparently that's underneath Dulce, and apparently he was in a full-on war with some 7-8 foot alien greys underground, and there's
I always
different
think that
stories.
Greys are some tiny little guys, but
Yeah, these are the tall guys. These guys are
these guys are pretty tall.
yeah.
And now are they? They're tall. Obviously, you said they're 7, 8, 9 foot, whatever. But
Yes.
are they? Do they look humanish? Like, would you say like if they just were like just kind of in a crowd, would you say they would just blend? I mean, obviously
Blend.
they're tall, so they
Yeah.
would stick out. But let's say that wasn't a factor. Do you think they just kind of blend in, or would you know, hey, what the heck is this?
From what Phil Schneider talked about, they look pretty much exactly like the small greys that you see on every movie, the small little alien greys.
Yeah.
However, these guys are tall and skinnier, and some of them have longer noses and longer ears, sort of like this mask I have. This is like the typical, almost like
Right,
not
the
like
classic.
the classic gray looking.
Yeah.
But I'd say probably the way he described it, they have longer noses and sometimes pointy ears. I don't know if that's exactly what he ran into, but he said they were instantly he got scared as soon as he saw one, and he was lowered into this cave, and something was going on. There was a bunch of military people going down. They were not coming up. They sent him down, and as soon as he was lowered, he saw two of them. He called them entities because he didn't know what it was, and he full on just pulled out his gun, shot one, killed one, and the other
just like immediately once
immediately
he saw it.
as soon as he saw it, he didn't waste no time. Well, there's different stories too. Like he talked about when
Did
he
it
was
cause
lower.
like almost like a galactic war doing that, or what?
Well, there was already the firefight already was
oh,
going
there's
on.
already a fire.
There was already people already battling, and he didn't know because they were not coming up, so they sent him down. As soon as he was lowered, he saw one, shot one. The second one he tried to shoot, but that one retaliated and did something with his stomach and shot a laser at him, and almost killed him. He had shot like an electrical wave through his body. It went through his chest. It hit him in his chest. Shot down. It burnt off his toenails. His left foot was pretty much burnt off, and he was out. And the people behind him that were being lowered, one of them saved him, and apparently it was like 67 people that died that day, and three survivors. He was one of 3 survivors. The 2 are just completely kept low key. They don't know. We don't even know if they're still alive or not. And
So coming back around to Dulce, is there multiple levels or what?
apparently the base, it's 7. I think 7 levels down, and they get worse and worse as the lower you get. And this is, something you cannot see on the outside. That's why they dig these underground bases. And it's. Let me pull up this map I have here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If we can get this right. I know it's a really small map, but okay. Like if you notice, okay, here's New Mexico. Dulce is dead center right here, and I'm gonna try to keep it up. I'm gonna point it one more time right here. This is where Dulce is at, and if you notice, Dulce is pretty much dead center of this whole map area. If you really look at, it's almost precisely dead center, and Dulce is supposed to have the biggest underground base in the world. It's particularly in the United States. Links up to, obviously here to Los Alamos,
Mm-hmm.
and then down here to what's it called, Kirtland Air Force Base right here where we're at, and up to Denver Airport, Area 51, and there's a lot more. There's a lot more bases in Mexico and over here in Arizona. But yeah, those roads that
Here's
you see.
to that one. Sorry, the other camera
Okay.
just died on us.
And if you notice, those lines, those are the underground freeways. They exist, apparently. And going back to the Taos hum, being that Taos is like right on the way up, one of the noises that they hear, they say it could be the underground railing system. It's like a train. It's a magnetic
Like
it runs off of
Yeah.
runs off of magnetics, and it just goes so fast through underground that it's just leaving a boom, like a hum. And that's what people are hearing in Taos. So
That's interesting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
So look it up, man. Look up Dulce, New Mexico, Dulce,
Yeah.
Candy.
I
Yeah,
Yep. That's what it
Dulce,
means.
Dulce, and
Great fishing up there. On
oh
the
yeah,
Stout.
it's nice. It's a beautiful area. Shout out to Kobe Uno.
Yeah.
He's up there, and he's got some. Maybe we can bring him in for some stories for Dulce if we have time, because he's been up there for about a year now, and I'm sure he's getting all the good stuff, the good stories,
Right.
you know. But yeah, and there's so much going on. The Four Corners, there's a lot of stuff up there, and obviously New Mexico. You know, I mean, we have so much space, you know. So, but yeah, Dulce is the place.
I wanted to quickly ask because I've heard of it, and I don't know if you can elaborate more, but I've heard that even before the 70s, obviously there's the Roswell incident, but even before that, I've heard a story where I don't know if it was with President Roosevelt in the 1800s. I've heard stories where they supposedly the Greys have been in the New Mexico area for centuries, sounds like. And I don't know if you've heard something similar, but I seem to have heard stories where they basically either had to make a truce or just something.
Yeah.
Because I've heard supposedly to that lore that the Greys have been in the New Mexico area for a long time, and something about Theodore Roosevelt or his soldiers or something, back when this was a territory where they ran in, they didn't even know, you could just imagine they didn't know what the heck these things were.
Yes, New Mexico probably has the most folklore of UFOs, and obviously Roswell being the number one story, but there's stuff before Roswell that happened. There's a great documentary called High Strange New Mexico that it might be on YouTube. You can check it out. They go around New Mexico and they talk about certain things. Petroglyphs. There's petroglyphs with spaceships on rocks, and they're dated thousands of years. You know, so,
with the Hopi and
all around, and apparently there's up in Truth or Consequences. There was sightings back in the 20s. It's all over. 6 months after Roswell, there's the famous Aztec Crash, which I went to personally. It's still intact. Apparently this UFO crashed. It's on top of a mountain range, and it's still completely flattened out, that area where it landed. And even to this day, the trees surrounding it are kind of singed off and didn't grow right. And
oh wow, that's crazy.
And apparently this one was a lot larger than the Roswell one. It was a huge one, and there was up to 15 dead alien bodies that was recovered. And the only way they could get it out of there is they had to go lay cement out there to get it up on a dolly or whatever they needed to get it out. And so there's some concrete slabs, fake ones that the government was using to haul off that ship, and that's really close to Dulce. And it's like I said, Four Corners. Apparently, these UFOs, these aliens, reptilians, they fancy the desert. This is where they love it, and apparently
Egypt.
Egypt.
Yeah.
That's
Machu Picchu and
all over. Yeah.
Those stuff like that actually still amazes me because say what you want, but I know I'm kind of diverting from New Mexico and the whole Dulce thing, but to see those however old they are, hundreds or even thousands, to just have these precision cuts
and South America,
and for to do what they did, there's guys with modern, you would need modern cranes, you would need these modern tractors to pick these slabs up or do these
modern saws and tools in order to make those kind of cuts.
And these are precision. I mean, they're so precision that when they were placing them together, they pretty much are just boom. You know,
Yeah.
they don't need to be.
You don't even need like mortar or anything
Right.
between them or anything
Yeah.
because they're perfectly aligned.
And then a lot of them are just random weird cuts too. They're not like
Yeah.
you know, like a brick wall. Some of them are like weird, and they fit like this way, and just
Yeah.
random, but they fit, and it's
Exactly.
really strange.
Crazy.
And you know, you got to remember, you have to know that these are a civilization that supposedly archaeologists, anthropologists say that they didn't have a will.
Yeah.
You know, even,
In South
even
America,
Egyptians
exactly.
didn't have wills. Like, yeah, you know, there's levers and pulley systems, but these ancient peoples that supposedly did all these, they didn't have the will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, to them, I mean, that's like brute work to just do. Like, if you're just gonna
Yeah, exactly.
do it the way, like,
Definitely.
you know, the way that they say that they did, but like for these people, like,
That's a
they
good-
didn't have wills. And
That's a good subject, so we could talk about next time on one of Chris's next segments is like
yeah,
South American like ancient like structures and stuff like that.
Yes.
Because like you said, they didn't have a will, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, how the heck did they get it done? You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And we're not trying to downplay these people from the past because you know nobody was dumb in those days. You know, there was some really smart people, but it goes past and beyond.
right.
You know, the
Well, yeah,
expectations
and-
of these people. You know.
That's another subject, like some of the universal themes and stuff that was going on between civilizations in South America that were doing stuff while people in the Middle East were doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
How did that type of thing occur without any sort of communication between the
Right.
two peoples? It's like they're
Yes.
completely isolated from each other. How did such similarities occur? You know.
Right.
Yes.
So
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that's some great stuff to come up on.
Yeah,
on
and even
another
those, what are
future episode.
What do they call them? Those geoglyphs, or what are they? You know, the ones, the Incas.
Yeah.
Where you have to be in a plane, or
Yeah, exactly.
From
You have to
high
be in a
up.
plane, yeah, to see the entire shape of it. You have to
Yeah.
be
Yes.
above, like high above, and it's in an
Yeah.
area where you don't have any
Oh, the like
higher.
the Nazca lines and
yeah,
stuff
the
like
Nazca
that.
lines, that's
yeah.
what it is. Nazca lines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we need to definitely talk about
Yeah.
that in a future
Well,
episode.
before we close out on,
Yeah.
on this subject, just want to show you something that's work in progress for
Yeah,
some
sure.
years right now. The guy I was talking about, Phil Schneider, I'm trying to work on a documentary about him. Now, there is a documentary on YouTube that's pretty good. They have an artist rendition of the alien battle that I was talking about in 1979. Unfortunately, they go into too much of the underground structures, and that takes up the majority of the documentary. But I want to do a full-on Phil Schneider story, whether it being like a movie. I'm thinking I'm going to probably just end up making it a documentary, and I have this will what it's going to become, and it just goes throughout his life as a youngin. He just grew up military. His father worked on the Montauk project. Maybe one of these days we could talk about that. That's
Yeah.
about time travel, and it just goes down all his where he was stationed, blah blah blah, up until right here, the Dulce incident. And after that, that's when things started really going crazy. He was in the hospital for a couple of years, and then just kept going on. And he just had super high ranks. He had one of the highest clearances in the military you can get, like surpassing president. He was just something else, and it even goes up to where he had learned alien languages, and he was an alien translator for the government.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, he knew, like, his wife talked about him speaking German and languages he didn't even know in his sleep. He was just going off, and
Wow.
That's
just
funny.
stuff like that. And it goes up into his untimely death, where he was absolutely killed.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
of whistleblowers, this dude takes the top precedence of anything. He is the ultimate whistleblower, real hero, because he he knew he was, he knew he was going to get taken out eventually, and but yeah, that's a crazy story.
It's crazy.
They and he is like Phil Schneider. They did do like a mainstream documentary. Like, I mean, he's not just like some type of, these guys that just come, the crypto circuit or whatever. They did an actual mainstream on a major major station.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even on there, they've basically said like his death was very, very suspicious.
Absolutely.
Like, compared to like what the report says or whatever, and they stated in the program that like it was suspicious, and the people they interviewed said no, this was more than how he died. So there's definitely something there, I think.
Definitely. And there's he did right before he died, the last 2 years he did a lot of speeches and talks at UFO conventions and whatnot. And there's 4 solid videos you can watch of him 4 different times, and he talks about pretty much the same stuff, but on each one he adds like something that he might have left off on the last talk and whatnot, and really good. He's legit. I mean, he shows his hand where his hand's burned off from that war. He lifts up his shirt and shows where he got blasted by an alien, and it's real legit. Really good stuff. But yeah, cool. Phil Schneider is his name.
Nice.
So
again, going back to the beer.
Yes.
I wish we would have had like another bottle of this.
Yes.
I could use like another.
We might have to tap into I might.
So overall, our final decision is that this was a very good beer.
I mean,
I don't think they make a bad beer in the Pacific Northwest, especially Oregon.
Yeah.
This is obviously like I'm one of those like a seasonal person.
Yeah.
Like now it's October and I like the dark beers and these type of beers, but honestly, like even on a spring or whatever day, I still would pop this out and sip on it.
And it's funny. Usually, Oatmeal Stouts really are heavy to where like you feel like you had a full meal. You know? This one,
yeah,
not
it's
at
good.
all.
It's really good.
Oh, actually, like looking at this, it has ingredients on here, so that's cool. Like it says they use 2-row C120, Crystal 120. Let's see what hops they use. They use the Rogue Farm hops. I guess they do
their own hops, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's because this is Oatmeal Stout. So basically, Oatmeal Stout, the oatmeal that you buy at a store. What's that one brand?
Quaker.
Quaker. Basically, that's basically what they put in the beer.
Like they put it. Do they put it like during the meshing process?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they basically do that, and that's what. Personally, I think that's what kind of gives it like that, like hearty.
Yeah.
Taste.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like the word. It's like it's not like a meal, but you know what I mean. Like it's just like it's a beer to sip and enjoy.
Yeah.
Versus like we were drinking pale ale earlier, but I think that oatmeal just gives it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feel to it.
And it was really smooth going down too. It's not something you're like it's
kind of
rugged.
I don't know if I can drink the rest of this. Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's really smooth.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure what we'll have next episode. Who knows? We'll come up with one. I really want to do a local beer because we've done
commercial,
not really commercial, but national,
regional, I guess.
Regional.
Where's Rogue? That's Pacific Northwest.
That's Pacific Northwest. That's from Oregon.
What we should do then is we should get a jug, and one of us go to a different brewery.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. I mean, Albuquerque has
there's
tons of breweries
and
now.
that guarantees many
they
episodes.
just keep coming. Huh?
I said that guarantees many episodes.
Yeah, we keep coming. There's one going
so
up
many
every week.
Every week.
There's one. There's a
there's
new
like
one right down the road.
over by the airport. I don't even remember the name of it. And it's like Gibson and
the 377.
Yeah, 377.
Yeah.
I haven't been there.
I haven't been there either.
Yeah, there's one right across the street here on 2nd. And
Paseo.
Where?
Paseo.
Yeah.
Did we go to that one
I've
or
been
no?
there. It's called Still.
Still Bender?
Still Bender.
We went to that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and Mark have been there.
Yeah, we went to that one recently.
It's pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
What did I have? I can't even remember what I had there that night.
I know. We're gonna have to. I know. The thing is, hops are very prominent in beer here in Albuquerque, and we want to see how many breweries go beyond that with the taste, because it's great having hops.
I love hops. I love pale ales, and I have my thing with, and for me, like, I call it the West Coast because they're the ones that hopped everything and it traveled to us. But I'm ultimately, at the end of the day, I like malt. I like malty beers.
And like, I like hop as an accent, but the minute you start letting it overwhelm your palate, and your beer, unless you're going for that, like with an IPA type of mixture or something like that, then it that's what you're going for. Therefore, hey, do it. But if you're trying to make like a pale ale, it should be a slight accent of it, but it shouldn't overwhelm the rest of the beer. And a lot of times that happens here. We want to be able to see what type of progress our nice little brewery explosion here in Albuquerque has made. So
and I think I was when Jude and I had met up a few weeks back or whenever it was, we had a conversation where I was telling him with people who aren't like beer aficionados or whatever, if you gave them an actual English, like the real English IPA, they wouldn't even like.
They wouldn't know.
They would think, "What is this?" Because American IPAs are just so hoppy in your face. Like that's what they think an IPA is. But I mean, don't get me wrong, an English IPA is bitter and it's hoppy, but compared to like what we make here, it's just like it's pretty. Americans are on its own.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll get into the local breweries here on the next coming episodes. But I think that's about it for episode 2 of the Wes Anderson podcast.
Yes.
Sorry it took so long, and went a little bit over, which is nice. Got to catch up and stuff. So
yes.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself. We'll see you on episode 3. Hopefully here soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys later.